Speculate to accumulate, episode 29. Last week, shambolic, weren't it? To say the least. Weren't really a good weekend of football. However, just fucking rubbing it in this, innit? I did have a win. I had a 15-fold over 1.5 goals. If you're not familiar with this bet, you're dead against them, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a lottery.
Well, it is a lottery. But you pick 5 fixtures from the Championship, League 1 and League 2. Any 5, don't even look, don't study form or anything. Over 1.5 goals. I got 77 to 1. Cheeky fiver on that.
Encouraging wild betting.
No, fucking hell, it can't get any more wild, can it?
It's very loose betting.
Yeah, but every now and again it pays off. Paid off last weekend. So before we do start the podcast, we start the selections we've got this week. If you are interested in a little lottery bet, then over 1.5 goals, 15 games. Don't even look. Just tap. Get your mum to pick 15 games. Yeah. Do it. Do. But before we get started on this podcast is brought to you by Faded Barbershop here in Leyland in Lancashire. So if you're looking for a fresh haircut, go and see Kane and the boys in the newly renovated shop. They'll sort you out. Looks like you've had yours done recently. Tuesday. How was yesterday? Just scruffy from work. On to the ACCA. I'll kick things off. First pick, we're going to go to the Premier League. Something I don't really like doing, but this weekend, both my picks are in Prem.
You've got three, haven't you?
Oh shit, yeah, I've got 3. First 2 are from the Prem. So the first one is going to be Sheffield United to beat Norwich. So Sheffield United have won 3, drew 1 and lost 1 in their previous 5 home games, with their one loss being against Manchester City. So you can let them off with that one, can't you, really? Norwich have only managed 2 wins and 2 draws in the previous 10 away fixtures in the Premier League. It's 8th versus 20th. With a win for Sheffield United would take them back up to 5th, as they do have a game in hand. And Sheffield United have the second best defence in the league, only conceding 25 in the Premier League this season. Do you know who's got the best one? Well, you do, because you're looking at my notes. Best defensive record.
I was just daydreaming.
Best defensive record being Liverpool, only conceding 20. It's not bad that for a Championship side a newly promoted Championship side who me and you both predicted would go straight back down. Decent. So first pick, Sheffield United to beat Norwich.
The next pick is going to be Rotherham to beat Rochdale away. Rochdale have lost the last 3 games in a row. Rotherham are unbeaten in 7 and are sat second in the league. And they have the best away record in the league with 10 wins from 17 games.
Nice. Third pick, on the ACCA is going to be Wolves to beat Brighton at home. So it's 6th versus 15th, with Wolves only losing 1 in the previous 7 home games, which was to Liverpool. Again, Liverpool getting involved. And they've won their previous 2 home games 3-0 and 4-0. Brighton have only had 1 win in the previous 12 aways, which was against a poor side from North London who play in red. With 4 draws. And 4 draws in them 12 aways too. Do you clock what I said? Or you're not paying any attention?
Team from North London wearing red, I heard
that. That team being Arsenal, who Aidan supports. Wolves have taken 21 points from 14 home games this season. Brighton have only taken 10 points from 14 away games. And Brighton also have the joint worst form in the Premier League, taking only 3 points from their previous 5 games.
The fourth pick is going to be Swindon to beat Forest Green Rovers. Tabletop in Swindon have 21 wins in 35 games this season and have the best home record as well, with 13 wins in 18 at home. They sit top by 3 points and still have a game in hand. They're unbeaten in 12 league home games, winning 10 of those 12. Forest Green have won just one in the last 5 away games. All of them 5 were against bottom half sides as well.
Yeah, they started off well, Forest Green. Just gone, aren't they? Going off the face of the earth. Well, the face of League 2. We usually do again. We usually do 4 games on the Acca, and we obviously it's a 4-fold. But this week we're going to make it a 5-fold because you can't not have Crewe to beat Stevenage at home. So it's second in League 2 versus rock bottom Stevenage. Medal winner Graham Wesley couldn't even save this lot. Stevenage have lost 8 games on the bounce and they're doomed for relegation. Crewe have won all of the previous 7 home games down in League 2. Like I said, adding this game is a little bonus game to the Acca, and if Crewe don't manage to get 3 points, then I'll never back them ever again on the podcast. I'm that confident. People with a pair of bollocks might even want to put them as -1. That's the other note I've put.
Don't tempt me.
No, I'm not going to put a -1. But if you,
it's one of my favourite bets. Handicap betting.
Yeah, but they're doomed. Crewe, Stevenage. Sorry, Crewe aren't a bad side. The odds aren't great. I think
I got 10-1 earlier today.
No, I mean on Crewe.
Oh, on Crewe.
Crewe is a single.
I can't remember.
I think they're 1-2. Or 6-10, something like that. But at home against a very, very poor Stevenage side, we've got to add him in. So the 5-fold accumulator is as follows. We're going to have Crewe to beat Stevenage,
Rotherham to beat Rochdale,
Sheffield United to beat Norwich,
Swindon to beat Forest Green,
Wolverhampton to beat Brighton.
Have you done all 5?
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at me to go and carry on
Waiting
again.
For the hand. And that's it. And what's that coming out at?
10-1.
10-1. Not bad. On paper, looks class. Judges at the end of the weekend, as you please. Both teams to score 6-fold. Kick things off if you want, pal.
My first pick is going to be Cheltenham versus Port Vale. Cheltenham have landed both teams scoring 4 of the last 5 home games. And the only one not to come in of them 5 games was a clean sheet versus a very poor Mansfield side. Port Vale have landed both teams scoring 3 of the last 5 away games, scoring in 4 of those 5. The one they didn't score in was away at Swindon, and have conceded in 4 of them, and the one they didn't concede in was a clean sheet versus Northampton.
Nice. My first pick, going to go to the Championship. We're going to have Birmingham versus Reading. So it's 15th versus 16th in the Championship, with only 2 points separating these two sides. Birmingham have landed both teams to score in 9 consecutive home games, which is fucking crazy. Reading have only failed to score in 1 of the previous 5 aways, but you can let them off because that was against promotion hopeful Leeds, who are pretty much 1-0 FC, aren't they? Especially down at Elland Road. Although Reading on paper might not look the best to land out, having only landed once in the previous 5, with how close these two sides are in the league and how consistent Birmingham are landing both teams score at home and also, scoring and conceding at home, I fancy this fixture.
My second pick is going to be Crawley versus Oldham. Crawley have landed both teams scoring 3 of the last 5 home games, scoring 10 goals in those 5 games. And Oldham have landed both teams score in all of the last 4 away games since the 0-0 draw at Stevenage. I think it was like the 11th of January.
Yeah, nice. My second pick is going to be Peterborough versus Portsmouth. I bet you would have picked this, wouldn't you? I stole it.
I had a look at it. It was your last one that I really fancied.
Yeah. So Peterborough versus Portsmouth. It's 8th versus 3rd, with only 3 points separating the two sides. Peterborough have scored 2 or more goals in their previous 4 home games, where Portsmouth have only failed to score in 2 of their previous 13 away games. Both sides looking to push for promotion into the Championship in a very tight League One table, which should make for a very close game. When these sides last met in December, it finished 2-2 at Fratton Park, and both sides have landed twice in the previous 4 fixtures in League 2.
My final pick on the both teams scored does come with a bit of a warning, as it involves Lincoln, who aren't exactly great for both teams to score at the minute. But Lincoln have landed both teams scoring 3 of the last 5 games, but only done it once in the last 5 home games. On the other hand, though, Burton Albion have landed both teams to score in all 5 of their last 5 away games, including conceding 3 versus bottom of the league Bolton and 2 versus second bottom Southend. Burton's last 5 away games have seen a ridiculous 26 goals, scoring 12 and conceding 14. That includes a 3-2 win and 4-3 win against Bolton and Southend. 4-1 and 3-2 losses, which were Ipswich and Rotherham, and a 2-2 draw against another poor side in Wimbledon.
It's one of them games, if you don't back it and you don't come in, you're going to kick yourself, aren't you? You're going off one side, really, aren't you? But,
I am, yeah.
But
if you don't fancy it yourselves, don't stick it on.
I can see where you're coming from. I'll back it. I'll be kick myself if I didn't back it and then it came in, because that's just how it goes, isn't it? My third and final pick on the both teams to score. We're going to have a West Lancashire derby. So it's Fleetwood versus Blackpool. So it's 6th versus 13th. And as I said, it is a West Lancashire derby, so anything could happen, as these two sides absolutely hate each other. So essentially it is a cup final. Blackpool have landed both teams to score in 4 of the previous 5 games. Yeah. Fleetwood have landed 3 times in the previous 5 home games. All 4 of the previous 4 meetings, when these two sides have met, both teams have scored, with the latest being a 3-1 victory for Blackpool at Bloomfield Road back in December of last year, 2019. Blackpool unbeaten in the previous 3, and Joey Barton's Fleetwood are now unbeaten in their previous 10 games, which should make for a very decent derby day.
Like I was saying before, I really fancied that pick. I even noted it all up and then flicked through the messages and seen that you'd already picked it.
Yeah. I've done that before today, when you've got the first pick. So whoever messages you first, really, innit? So both teams score 6-fold is as follows. We're going to have Birmingham versus Reading.
Cheltenham versus Port Vale.
Peterborough versus Portsmouth.
Crawley versus Oldham.
Fleetwood versus Blackpool.
And Lincoln versus Burton Albion. I think I got 32, maybe 33 to 1 on that.
It's all right. Nice. Back to the original format this week as well. If you are an OG watcher / listener, you will know that when we first started this podcast, it was just a 6-fold accumulator and a 6-fold both teams to score. Didn't really fancy anything for an over 2.5 or a score and win this week, did we?
No.
So stripped it back to basics. But if you did enjoy this podcast and you are new to the channel, if it's the first one you've seen, then we do upload every Friday between 6 and 8 o'clock. Available here on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and also Spotify. So subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification bell if you do want weekly football updates. And as we say every week, we're not football betting experts. But we do research our bets to the best of our ability, don't we, pal? And hopefully we can win some money. Until next week. Oh, and don't forget, if you do want to join the lottery, 15 games over 1.5 goals. But until next week, have you got anything to add? No? That's it. Do you fancy it this week?
Fancy all of it apart from that 15-fold lucky dip that you're on about.
Until next week. Peace.